catch this in the morning rather than right before going to bed, because who wants to hear case studies before going to bed? Well, me, but I mean, I'm a little bit of a unique case. So as you guys see, my background is very different, and it's because I am in Hong Kong and I am working remotely. And this is another angle you'll see a better. This is actually coming straight from my iPhone right here. But I wanted to show you guys a different look of where I'm at. So anyways, welcome to the people the first time on the live stream. My name is Tony Lee. I'm a digital marketer by trade. I'm a podcaster. Well, I'm not sure if I should still consider myself a podcaster since I haven't released a new episode in quite a bit, but I am a digital marketer. I worked at one of the biggest companies in the world that you guys have probably heard of. Worked at agencies that you definitely probably heard of and things like that. I love to help out small businesses, and that is kind of my role. Now, all that being said, I don't want to talk about my day job and what I do. I wanted to highlight on certain things. So this series that I started, I look at case studies that are online, and the easiest place that I thought I could go is Facebook case studies. And today I ran across something that I thought was interesting because it's going to take a slightly different approach to how I've done this. So I'm going to look up Tonal's a case study here by Facebook. And as you'll see, and let me try to find this tab on my screen. There it is. Okay, so this case study here is not always about ads, which is obviously my domain of expertise, but this is actually a hugely important part. So I wanted to read this through and talk about it. Tonal, as you some of you guys might not know, is a workout brand, a fitness brand, fitness tech, and I think that might be undershooting kind of what their value is, but it's a workout thing you can put out at home, and it's really high tech and things like that. Higher ticket item, but imagine like a Peloton, but like not cycling, like in that higher end. So if you look at their Tonal story, they say building an engaged community. Now, we talk about community a lot, just a lot of marketing, and talk about how important it is and what we're trying to do. Sorry, I'm getting text message from my girlfriend while it's going on. So building an engaged community. Tonal is a connected fitness company offering a home digital strength training system designed to provide full body workouts on a single device. Great. Sounds amazing, right? The company created a Facebook group to motivate and interact with customers, and recent findings show that active group members are more satisfied, more attached, and worked out more with Tonal. Now, this is the important part I wanted to focus on. So let me highlight and then zoom in, see if I'm doing this right. The company created a Facebook group to motivate and interact with customers, and recent findings show that active group members are more satisfied, more attached, and worked out more with Tonal. Now, I'm going to zoom back to my pretty mug over here, and I want to talk about this a little bit because one of the things that growth marketers always try to do, and I just realized how bad my lighting is. I actually have my separate camera here using a flashlight because the lighting's not good here, and then I realized how harsh the shadows is, but anyways, and the reflections. But all that said, I'm getting way too geeky about lighting for I think this thing. So community is very important. You talk about building that because you want to get referrals, you want to get the community to naturally do the marketing for you. So in a weird way, you can look at it as being a lazy marketer. On another good way, you're actually creating an experience and a lifetime value for these people to be able to be advocates on your behalf. And that's the dream, right? And I'll give you a really clean example of this. Imagine like a Nike, right? And the Air Force Ones and the sneakerhead culture, you don't really need to market more to them. You just need to release really good products, and they'll use word of mouth themselves, aftermarkets, and all that kind of stuff, right? That's another example. Another example is like Coca-Cola. Now we're getting like the super big brands, right? But what about something that I'm trying to think of, looking around my room if there is something. Nintendo, a former client of mine, Super Mario Brothers, and things like that, and Pokemon. You don't need to sell them that because the community is already there, right? They talk about things nonstop. So what if Facebook is saying is this Facebook group is shown to increase the what's the word I'm looking for? Like keeping the group more satisfied and things like that. That is hugely important for growth marketing, but it's very hard to measure, right? How can you say that this video led to somebody being more active on Facebook group, or going back and saying like, hey, like, uh, because they're in this group, they made a repeat purchase. It's a little bit harder to measure. Let me take that back. It's a lot more complex and it requires more manual effort, which is why people just don't do it at times. So this is one of the things I wanted to point out. And let me go back to this case study and I'll really try to drive this, especially for people that are growth marketers here. So I'm going to get this back a little bit. So let's talk a little bit stats about what this is doing. 93% of the most active Facebook group members would recommend Tonal to a friend. 93% on a recommendation. This is extremely high. So we'll see the numbers below, hopefully. But if you can get any group of people, let alone 50%, 93% to recommend, that's pretty good. Like, these are engaged fans. So you would love to incentivize them as much as possible, not giving them like press kits or anything, but seeing how they can do that. So let's take the second part. 95% of the most active Facebook group members reported they would be disappointed if they could no longer use Tonal. Very cool. So let's look at this. These results are provided by Feverbee based on Tonal's engagement data and Facebook group admin reports, blah, blah, blah. And NPS survey results. So NPS, Net Promoter Score, that's something that is measured to use a lot of social media brands or brands on social media using the metrics and like the sentiment around it. So these are based around the same thing, it looks like. Finally, 6x more workouts among the best Facebook group active members. So you're getting to use the product more. These are actually hugely important, right? I have another friend of mine who told me, and I just realized I backed out from the mic. I apologize. I'm a little bit rusty to the live streaming game because it's been a while. But it's important because you are able to make a deeper connection that like an email or an SMS wouldn't do, right? You're able to talk to them and they get to interact with other people. This is largely a good thing about Facebook group. It is people that really care about it and looking for people that are just like them and make friends and become ambassadors and things like that. You want to encourage as much, not only just like unique content there, but ways to do it. And I'm very curious to see how Tonal did it. And then for your growth marketers, I want to let you know that I am going to tell you some of the measurement tricks that I would use for this and how it works. So let me bring this down. So let's do this. Creating an interactive community. So I'm not going to go read through the whole thing, but let me see some main things that I want to point out here. I'll start from here. In 2018, Tonal started its official community on Facebook. Let's see, 42.2K members. That's pretty big. The group encouraged members to share their wins, ask questions, and most about their workout experience. So this is interesting, right? This also taps into the brand that they're in. They're a workout group, right? So when you're asking your community to share the wins, this is very nature to them. It's very saying like, hey, I recorded my PR, or hey, I did the most amount of reps, or things like that. That's very native to this group. So you're not asking them to do something that's like a little bit creepy or just a little markety. You're just doing it to their own group of people on Tonal trying to achieve the same goals. Ask questions about, hey, like I had this issue. Like this is all perfect use of it, right? So let's look at this part. Since then, the community has grown to 40K plus members, approximately 1.2K new members joining every week, and 1.7K posts per month. Now, let's take that for a second. 1.7K posts per month. That's a lot. If you think about on a daily basis, just divide that by 30. And let me just do that really quick. That's 56 posts a day. 57 if you want to round up a little bit. But 50 posts per day across this, right? Let's see if it's based around the same thing. That's a lot of people. And that's a lot of ways to get your brand on top of what's the word I'm looking for, the feed. And especially for a workout thing, if you saw this on Facebook, you're like, damn, you know what? I better go work out on Tonal. It's a great way to use your product more too, right? So look about all the things that a Facebook group is naturally doing. And as a company that's maybe focused on growth more than just marketing, this is very important part for you to recognize. So let's look at some of the other things here, right? 93% of the most we already read through these at the top. So let's look at this. Inactive community members worked out twice as much as non-members. Wow, that's interesting, right? Workout members tripled for active community members, while the most active member worked out over 6 times more than non-active members. So it's interesting. You can passively look, but there's obviously a use of an increased use of product. See if your app notifications will do that for you as a group. No, this is why the power of Facebook, or let alone just social media, is there, because it's incentivizing a behavior that is not native. You're actually not just putting ads in places that they would be visiting, but you're actively creating something that's a lifestyle. Remember, 57 posts organically per month. You can't even get that PR coverage if you paid a PR company, right? PR people don't hate me on it. It's just I think it's true. So let's look at some of the examples that they use. Group polls like Facebook Feedback Friday to help Tonal collect community feedback regularly. It's a great place for product people to listen into. The team then uses information from product and company roadmap to continue to innovate offering. Great use of social media integration. I love that Tonal's product team, and I'm not sure which organic team or paid team brought this to them, but it's a great use, and I think this is a great way to foster something. Facebook Live and events. Facebook Live events hold monthly group challenges that help workouts. I'm not sure. Now, if I were to maybe do this, I would love to have Facebook Live with like a founder that's exclusive to this group, or like a huge ambassador that they're bringing on. Say like, hey, ask questions. I'm not sure just a regular Facebook Live to hold monthly challenges is good enough, but I'm sure it worked. We're getting 57 people, but I think there could be a lot more. Now, imagine this on a bigger scale, right? Imagine saying like, hey, join this group, and you will get to see somebody do that. Imagine also an email saying like, hey, right now join our Facebook group to your entire email list, which I guarantee you is more than the 40K members that they have. Join us in 3 days, and this person is going to be on this thing doing live, so that we'll answer all your questions or give some product giveaways or things like that. Do you know how much people will increase like joining, let alone like usage of the product with the other thing? These are things that I think growth marketers do not think natively, whether you're paid or organic, right? Because what I would love to do, let's put this in a paid, and I want to actually focus on my face a little bit here, so excuse my mug. Imagine a paid campaign like this. You are upload your email list onto Facebook or other channels, right? It doesn't really matter what, in my opinion. And then let's say you have a video and saying like, hey, I am Ambassador so-and-so. I'm going to be live on Tonal's exclusive Facebook community to answer all your questions and give away 3 new products for this. Would you join? And I would love to talk to you. Put this as an ad campaign to the email list only on various channels. Hopefully that they join. You'll see the number spike up, so you'll be able to say how much cost per how much join, right? Retention is a little bit trickier, but let's not assume that for a sec, and say like, hey, we're bringing them on here, and we're going to get them to be a part of this community and participate in this. Maybe they'll see the live, maybe not, but they'll now know that there's a community on here, and they do that. Inactive, active, you saw the numbers. This is going to increase product usage heavily. Now, imagine what else you could be doing as an opportunity cost to increase product and productivity of your app, and the potential of somebody becoming an ambassador and doing more and things like that, right? This is now thinking holistically, right? You're talking about a cost per acquisition, which I would assume is easily into 4 figures for Tonal, maybe 3. I'm not sure they could really get this. There's a couple ways, but I'm going to assume it's a CAC of $1,000 to acquire a customer, and hopefully they become an ambassador and whatnot, or get the current customers and kind of shift them over and kind of increase product usage more. The numbers speak for themselves of how effective it is, so why don't you try to get more people in that? It's a very smart way, and a lot of smaller companies are doing this, but bigger companies haven't really adapted to. Also, I just realized 2 people joined in and seeing the views, is seeing aggregate. So thank you. Really appreciate it. I am, and again, for the new people that are joining in, my name is Tony Lee. I'm a digital marketer by trade. I work at one of the biggest e-com companies in the world, and have worked at various agencies prior to that. So yeah, anyways, back to Tonal, and let me zoom in back to the case studies. Whoops. Zoom into the wrong one. Nope, that's not the right one. Boom, there we go. Okay, so Facebook Live events, I thought they could be doing more, and thinking holistically on great. Unique initiatives, let's look at that. So initiatives like Tonal Talks, Ask a Coach, and the Tonal Community Book Club, read between the reps to keep members informed and engaged. I think these are smart. let me take a sec. Without looking at these, like I think Ask a Coach is interesting, but I would much rather have the community ask themselves to a degree. And then I would make it like an event when a coach comes in and adds in something, right? Or I would love to do, oh, this would be a very interesting YouTube video if Tonal could do it. Tonal goes in and says, I'm going to, hi, my name is a fitness expert, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be doing just like that GQ, I think it's GQ. It's like Undercover where like Mark Cuban would go and answer comments himself, or Gordon Ramsay would answer questions and things like that. I think this would be a very interesting YouTube series where it's like, hey, like going to a Facebook group and I'm going to answer these questions directly in the comments and like on a video. Very interesting content that I think it can incentivize both things. I'm not sure exactly what Tonal Talks is, but it seems like it's just an exclusive content or shows that are talking about the tonal lifestyle. A little bit 2010. I think we can improve on that a little bit more. The book club is I think interesting. Read between the reps. I'm already intrigued at what this is. I'll bet you this community over indexes for reading books than other communities, so I think it's overall smart. So overall, I just want to now talk about some of the highlights that I saw. This, I think, is a very interesting use case right here. Inactive community members worked out more than twice as much as non-members. That's very interesting. Just by joining here and being inactive, you still worked out twice as much. Wow. That's kind of cool, right? Workout numbers tripled for active community members, while the most active members worked out over six times more than non-members. I mean, these are incredible numbers for a product usage, right? I'm now thinking in a growth more than a paid marketing of a product usage, what a Facebook group of 40K members and putting in exclusive content is doing to increase the lifetime value of your product and the usage and creating ambassadors. Remember, here's another part. Since then, the community has grown to 40K members with approximately 1.2K members joining every week and 1.7K posts per month, which basically comes out to like 57 posts per day. This is incredible numbers. Tonal, great job. Like, I think this is a perfect use of the synergetic use of product, social media, paid, organic content. You guys are killing it with this strategy. I've seen other small businesses that I've seen do this well. Alabaster is one that I would highly recommend you guys check out, done by my friend Brian. Actually, it's funny because they're both Brian. Brian's the co-founder, spelled a little bit differently. But anyways, overall, yes. I think Facebook group is a great way. Now, I did say I'm going to talk about measurement. So I wanted to go back and let me, sorry, I don't have my Elgato keypad. So let's talk about measurement, how you can do this, especially when you're first starting. So imagine this way. Let's say that you are doing acquisition fresh. Let's say today is, where is my calendar? I can't think about it. So, but let's make it easier. Let's say in September, right? You guys are going to the paid campaign that, and anybody that is in the acquisition is now going to get an email at the beginning saying like, hey, join our Facebook group, right? So now you are doing a whole segment of people that you're acquiring through, let's say Facebook ads or Instagram ads or anything from the Facebook network, putting them to email flow in general and afterwards flow of joining this community, right? Let's say you pump out enough dollars where you can get enough people to come in, join the community, and you put out exclusive content to say like, hey, this is what's going on. You will be able to measure a couple things. All the people that acquired through this way are now going to get into a community, exclusive community. You can call it beta, you can call it live. You can do various things. And see what happens to our product usage, right? Just by getting these people in. Then you can really invite your MVPs of your emails or them saying like, hey, join this community. We're doing this exclusive thing and seeing it can grow. That's one way to measure it because then you're able to say like, okay, the brand new acquisition people have done this and they're increasing their product usage significantly and things like that, right? You can also do it another way where you can just build a community, not worrying about acquisition at all. Send an email list, hey, we're creating this Facebook group. Would love for you to join. We're getting you some exclusive content and see what happens to the people. Now, this is going to require a little bit of like hacking a little bit because you're going to have to look at all the people that joined, get their names and see if it matches to a name in your database and then go back to that database and see the product usage and the before and afters and see what the return on it or what the product increase was for the content. Right. But there are ways to measure this, even through paid, even through organic, through time spent, through, you can even go through salary or agency hours or whatever it may be. But there are ways you can actually measure the impact of a Facebook group without even getting too complex with that. So let's take the second approach, the latter one that I just talked about. Let's say you blast your entire email list saying you're creating a Facebook group, would love people to join. We're going to start putting exclusive content by September. We're going to have a big party with Big Bang. We're going to give free products. Would love for you guys to join. Make that into an event. Let's say 1,000 people join. Actually, make it easier. Say only 100 people join. You'll be discouraged. It's not a huge number. But then this is what happens. You'll track over the next 30 days what the product usage is, and look at that, right? Then after 30 days, you have a baseline of growth of what happens when people join this Facebook group. During the acquisition from starting September, you can put them to email flow to get people to join. So you'll be able to say per 100 transactions, X percentage of people joined the Facebook group, and you'll be able to see things like that, right? Now you have a baseline of numbers after 30 days. You're now able to potentially measure the impact, what happens with somebody who's in a Facebook group or not, and what happens to a new group that was acquired, and the product usage behavior joining a group or not. You'll be able to then make data-driven decisions on what this means to your group and how you're able to do your marketing, right? These are things that growth marketers don't natively do, but I think we need to think about it more. And it's kind of my challenge to, I think, all the people who would consider the growth marketers, whether they're in a paid discipline or organic discipline or a community discipline or whatever kind of discipline it is, or if you're a VP and above and just thinking like, man, I just need to get my ROAS down or my incrementality costs down or all those things, you're looking at it very small picture. I think we need to look at it bigger. So that's my call. I think Tonal's use was smart. Again, I mentioned another one, Alabaster. I think they do a really good job with their community Facebook groups. Shout out to Brian if somehow you see this. But yeah, Tonal, great job and love doing this. So again, I'm going to go to a weird Zoom. I'm in Hong Kong working remotely. This is Hong Kong. If you guys know, like the room is small, so I am maximizing. My suitcases are underneath this bed here. My closet has more than my clothes. I got a small fridge right next to me and things like that, and a very small room in general. But I make do. Let me see if I can quickly do this, actually. Let me switch cameras. Okay, so you can see, let me do this. So you can see this is my mic setup. I got my light here, flowers, laundry hanging in the back, room, the shades. It's early morning for me. Anyways, let me go back. All right, so enough of the multicam stuff here. I just want to show you guys for a little bit. Anyways, thank you guys. I know this video has been 23 minutes and counting. Thank you guys for all staying past late if you guys made it through this much. I love doing these. Would love some feedback whenever I can. Thank you, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully in the East Coast. I am sorry if I'm the last thing you see before going to sleep, but I really appreciate it for people in the morning. Hopefully this was a perfect little content for your commute or something to get ready while you're doing. But I have fun doing this. If there's any brands or any topics you want me to cover, please, you can always DM me or leave in the comments. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later.